Okay, hello grade 8s, welcome to the extra lessons once again. So I'm going to go through chapter 6 algebraic expressions, go through some examples because obviously you're watching this if you don't understand. Okay, so what's meant by algebraic expressions is basically using variables, so using x and y, okay, to represent numbers so that you can have a formula that you can use for any input or any output. Okay, so like for this one it said, and this is the example that was given in the slides, one CD costs 150 Rand. Okay, how much will 2 CDs cost? Now if you look at this in a diagram, so one CD costs 150 Rand and another CD costs 150 Rand, so together 2 CDs will cost 150 plus 150 gives me 300 Rand. But obviously I can't write it out like this, so I need to write it out in an algebraic expression. Okay, so what this means is I've got one CD is equal to 150 Rand. Okay, so if I have 2 CDs, all I need to do is times this side by 2. Okay, but what I do to this side I need to do to the other. So I'll have 2 CDs, okay, will cost 150 Rand. Now I have to times by 2, this side by 2, so that's 2 CDs costs 150 times 2 gives me 300 Rand. Okay, now if I've got, how much will 7 CDs cost? Okay, all I do is I've got CDs equal to 150 Rand, okay, times by 7, so this will give me 7 CDs will cost 150 times 7, so that's 150 times 7, 7 times 5, 7 times 1, 7 plus 3, so it will be 1,050 Rand. Now this is fine because we've got numbers, but what happens if I've got, let's say this is number 3, how much will y CDs cost? Okay, and this just basically means that with y as my variable, so this is an unknown number, if I put in any number in y, I'll be able to get how much those number of CDs will cost. Okay, so I look here and I see what have I been doing. Okay, so to get 1 CD I had 150 Rand. To get 2 CDs I just times that by 2. To get 3 CDs I times it by 3. 7 CDs I times it 150 by 7. So what did I do? I had the cost of the CDs is equal to whatever that number is. So if it's 7 CDs I times it by 7. So whatever this variable is, whatever this number is, if it's 7, 2 or 1, I times it by 150 Rand. Okay, and what do I know about writing in an algebraic equation is I take away that multiplication and I just have 150y because that's the same as that one. So I know if I've got cost of CDs is equal to 150y, I can put any number here. So if I ask how much will 50 CDs cost, then I've got my cost of CDs is equal to 150 times 50, and then I could work it out and find out the cost. So this is basically what I mean by algebraic expression, is taking unknown numbers and getting a formula for it. Now what if I ask how many CDs can I get for X amount of rands. Now I had my formula, so cost of CDs is equal to Y 150. Okay, so I said Y times 150. Now they're saying my CDs, if it's X, so X, okay, how much will I get for, how many CDs will I get for 150? So now I need to get how many CDs, so I'm looking for Y, so I need to get Y by itself. So I've times it by 150, so I divide by 150. So I know all I need to do is take the cost divided by 150, so I can get how many CDs I've got. Now this makes sense because if, for instance, we had, for 2 CDs it was 300 Rand. So if I took the cost of the CD, so that was 300 Rand, okay? So the cost of the CDs altogether was 300 Rand. I divided that by 150, which gives me 2. So I know that I bought 2 CDs. If I had, for instance, let's think, so 1,050, okay? I had to pay 1,050 Rand, okay? How many CDs did I get? So I divide by 150, and that gives me 7. So I know that I bought 7 CDs. Okay, so that's just an example with CDs. Now let's do another example. Okay, so if I've got a block here, right, or let's actually make it a square just to make it easier for now. Okay, I've got a square, and I know with a square all the sides are equal, so I know that this is X centimeters, this is X centimeters, and this is X centimeters, and this is X centimeters. So if I ask what is the parameter of this shape, okay, the parameter is the outside of it. So I know it will be X plus X plus X plus X. So I go X plus X plus X plus X. Now I've got X happening 4 times here. So the easiest way to represent this is 4 times X. So it's just 4X. Okay, if I said, so now that I've got this, if I said if my perimeter is 16 centimeters, okay, what is the length of each side? Okay, so now I've got P is equal to 4X, where P is my perimeter, okay? So P is equal to 4X, so I know what my P is because it says if my perimeter is 16 centimeters. So I make this 16 centimeters, okay? Now I want to find out the length of each side. So remember, my length of each side is X. So I'm looking for X. I want to get X by itself. So what do? I've times by 4 here. So to get rid of it, I divide each side by 4, which gives me 16 divided by 4 is 4, and that's X. So I know each side, because X is equal to 4, each side is 4 centimeters. And that makes sense because if I've got 4 centimeters all around, so 4 centimeters, 4 centimeters, 4 centimeters, 4 centimeters, and I added those all up together, I'll get 16 centimeters. Okay, so algebraic expressions is just using variables so that you can use it over and over again to work out different formulas. Okay, if we do, for instance, let me think. So I say if, let's think, if BK is 5 years older than Tlotlo, okay, write BK age if Tlotlo is Y years old. Okay, so I want to know if Tlotlo is Y years old. So it doesn't matter, this is a variable, so I don't know what the age is, but if he is Y years old, how old will BK be? Now I know BK is 5 years older than Tlotlo. So whatever Tlotlo's years are, so that Y, I have to add 5 to get BK. To get BK's years. So if I make BK, for instance, X, so we say let BK's age equal X. So I now have to add 5 to Tlotlo's years old to get BK's years old. So if I ask you, so say now, if Tlotlo is 65 years old, how old will BK be? Okay, so using this, I've got Y plus 5 is equal to X. My Y is Tlotlo's age, so I know he's 65 now. So I add 5 to get BK's age. So I know BK is 70 years old when Tlotlo is 65 years old. Okay, in the next extra maths, I'll do pages 71 and 72.